So welcome, Taylor Schaly. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So now, before we dig into Trainer's Choice, I want to talk a little bit about your background because you've been in the sports medicine and rehabilitation field your whole life, and you actually started your career with Trainer's Choice. So give us a little
Yeah.
background on Taylor.
I went to university for human kinetics, which is also known as kinesiology. And then I moved into doing my MBA because I wanted to mix that science and business background.
Hmm.
And then because I've grown up playing sports and, experienced my own injuries, I started working at Trainer's Choice just as a co-op and admin. And then I started working more with the clients being in the physiotherapy clinics at sports
Hmm.
medicine and was a physiotherapist assistant, helping those patients, and then also getting to fit products onto the patients from Trainer's Choice.
Hmm.
So I got to see the business operating from, the product side, the business side, and then also the clinical side.
Awesome. And then you've worked at all different types. You were a lifeguard at one point. I
Yeah.
mean, so always around sports and kinesiology. That's the study of how the body moves, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All
Yes.
right. So like I'm really into that because I've been doing some sort of activity my whole life. I still do karate, jujitsu, tai chi. I run, I do the bike. So I bang myself up every once in a while
Yeah.
and I've had to use different types of supports and stuff throughout ever since I was a teenager. So I'm very personally interested in this topic. But so now at Trainer's Choice, because you mentioned you started, and what I th thought was really cool when I learned about the company, was the fact that you have products, but it's also like a sports rehabilitation clinic. Can you talk about Trainer's Choice as a whole, both, and then we'll start digging into the products.
Yeah. So Trainer's Choice was founded by Rick Schaly, and he was an athletic therapist. He started out treating patients, and then he saw that there was a need for better products in the market for these patients with injuries to support them along to getting back
Hmm.
to recovery. So he started out creating them, just sewing them himself, and then hiring sewers, and then moving into manufacturing them once he saw there was a greater need and people really loved the
Hmm.
quality and durability of the product. And so he used his sports medicine clinics and the chiro practors there, the physiotherapists, orthopedic surgeons, and different healthcare professionals as a team to come together and build these products based on all their knowledge from school and treating patients on what the best products would be. So it started out in the sports medicine clinics and then grew to Trainer's Choice. And we're still able to have those products that we create used on our patients in the clinic and also always tested on them to make sure, that quality is always still there. Is there another gap that we should be addressing? When we do
Hmm.
a material change, we're able to get that patient feedback right away.
I mean, that's really cool on a couple of levels. One, on the QA side, right? Because you're getting it from your patients themselves, right? You have that
Mhm.
expertise. I love the way it was born from the sports clinic side. It's kind of like a restaurant owner or a restaurant chef that's been in the business for years and then coming up with a packaged product from one of his sources or something like that.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's been testing it with his customers the whole
Hmm.
time he at the restaurant. So you
Yeah.
you you know it from the ground up. I'm guessing he's a relative of yours with the
Yes, it
last
is
name.
my dad. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so you've really grown up in the business pretty much.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so now walk us through the products and then I want to get into the sustainability aspect because I think that's really cool. And I know your title is Director of Sustainability and Business Development. So
Mhm.
that's a big theme with your company. But walk us through the
Yeah.
different types of products that you have.
Yeah. So we have different products from elbow braces, knee braces, wrist, thumb, ankle, back, and posture support. And we have a range within each segment of, just a wrap if you need just minimal support to a
Mhm.
heavier duty with stabilizers to provide you that extra support or in stabilization if you're looking for little mobility with a more severe injury. And then all these products are in the mass pharmacy across
Mhm.
Canada and now expanding into the US.
Awesome. So now, so like you have everything if I pull a muscle, but also like when I was 18 and I tore my meniscus on my right knee, you have something for that too, and
Yes.
everything in between.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And we onto that material, we make sure that our products are highly breathable and
Hmm.
comfortable so that when you're in either that early phase of you're getting that extra support to then when you're ready to get active,
Hmm.
that product can carry you through all those stages.
Yeah, and that's important too because you always, I know when my I tore my knee, I always dreaded putting that thing on. It was more than 30 years ago, and it wasn't too comfortable, it wasn't too breathable. And in fact, it
Mhm.
was not breathable at all. The thing stank. And it was really bad. But, having looked through your website and seen your products, and it's like a world away from what I was used to back then. So, and you have some really cool materials. Talk a little bit about the geocell and the recycled nylon that you use for knit sleeves, like an elbow brace or something like that.
Yeah. So we started with a Comfortex material that's super highly breathable and durable. And then we found this geocell material, which is a sustainable natural rubber. It's derived from Hiva trees. The forests are FSC and PEFC certified. And it just minimizes that need for neoprene, which is really bad for the environment. So we switched this natural material, but it's super safe for sensitive skin and it's just as functional, if not more, and super highly breathable and comfortable on our patients. And we were able to test that product. And you can't tell that if you were to look at our old material compared to our new GeoCell, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference because that four-way stretch is there. Everything is there. And so we got our patient feedback that obviously number one is that they love that it's still been created by, the doctors and the physiotherapists
Mhm.
in our healthcare clinics. Um, but also that it's sustainable so that they can have that, certified, but also choose sustainability at the same time. And the recycled nylon is the same way, where it's lightweight, quick drying, and it reduces the reliance on petroleum.
So I think, I mean, bottom line, it's got to work, right? If it
Yes,
doesn't work,
exactly.
doesn't matter how green you are. It's
Mhm.
like food. If it tastes horrible, I don't
Yeah.
care how sustainably made it is, or who you help.
Mhm.
It's got to taste good too. These in your field, it's got to work. It's got to do the job. So
Exactly.
it's good you have all that foundation of the sports clinics and the knowledge from
Mhm.
there. How did you come across the Geo Cell? How did you come up with that? What prompted that?
We had just been looking, at incorporating a more sustainable
Hmm.
product, and we had seen, there were recycled materials out on the market, but they had a weird smell. It
Hmm.
didn't feel the same. People were kind of hesitant, thinking I'm putting, like it says it's from like recycled plastic water bottles, but I'm not sure I want to put that on my body. So we were really
Hmm.
trying to source a natural alternative and so we ended up coming across this material just through sourcing. And when we tried it, we loved the material and then just kept going through rounds and rounds, making sure that it was perfect and
Hmm.
being able to uphold our standards that we have for our products.
And again, your own customer feedback in the clinics is
Mhm.
a great testing ground for
Exactly.
that. So, and then now you also do private label products as well, correct?
Yes, yeah, we do. So we're able to take that even that same material and create private label products for our partners with the GeoCell, or if they want to stay with that Comfort Text line, depending on what they're looking for. But we're able to provide them that high quality that they want.
Gotcha. So, you have a lot of education wrapped around this because I was wandering through your website and looking at the different content for around the different injuries. And I love the one on pickleball too, because I know of a few cases of people, my parents' friends, and obviously a lot of older people are playing pickleball, but they're all getting injured. One person I know of tore their Achilles tendon, and because they're not playing any sports for like 20 or 30 years, they get into pickleball, they make that one lunge, boom, and
Yeah.
they, so what is your view on how do you wrap the education around all this?
Yeah. So we always find like talking to our clients that they're always looking for that education on not just the product, but also on their injury and like the full treatment. So we really wanted to give our customers an active recovery approach. So we use our website with injury blogs on writing about different injuries, how you get it, what it is, recommendations for treatment and prevention. And then we also do the same on our social media page where we have little videos on different injuries, different sports, how you wear the brace, and then, why you would choose one brace over the other, because sometimes that can be confusing as well. When you go into a
Mhm.
store, there's four different knee braces. Which one do I choose? So we give that breakdown and education on the website and address things like pickleball when that's high in season, because I'm the same way. I thought, oh, this could be easy. And I felt so sore the next day. So we always find it super important to address those like sports in their high seasons or certain activities like spring cleaning, even
Mhm.
raking the leaves. Do this exercise to prep yourself for, raking, or after do this stretch. But also we have this back brace that can provide that extra support. Or if it's already strained, make sure you're wearing it while you're doing it. So we love to provide that in the different forms of on the
Mhm.
blog, YouTube, and social media.
I saw that you did one on shoveling too. That's
Yeah.
with winter coming up. There was one on
Yeah,
shoveling injuries, which
exactly. Yeah.
everybody knows about shoveling and back injuries
Yeah.
and the need for back support when you're shoveling. So now, do you tie that education to the store level as well? Or is there a way like QR codes or something like that?
Yeah, on our boxes, on every single product, we have a QR code that when you scan it, it brings you right to our injury education page.
Hmm.
And then through there, like our social media is also connected so that you can get that full approach. And we're also always available to take calls and emails that we say we have athletic therapists and physios that are ready to help if you have any specific product or
Hmm.
injury questions. We always just want to be there for our customers.
That's very cool. Not only can they pick it up, but they can scan the code and actually reach out to
Mhm.
you and ask about something in particular. So I like that. And I know when I was looking at your site, I was looking for, so I mentioned when I talked to you last about my elbow, and I saw that the way you laid out, these are the different things for this
Mhm.
and for this and for this and for this. And my elbow's feeling a lot better. I have one of those Theraguns so I've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
really drilling into this part here, and
Mm.
it's slowly getting better. I know it takes time to break up all the
Yeah.
fascia, but it's slowly getting better. But yeah, I was looking at all of the different education that you had around there, and that's definitely helpful, especially you're dealing with you're in the business of pain. I mean, you're dealing with pain. People want relief right away. So it's a
Yeah,
little different than
exactly.
being like a fashion or a beauty product. This is like an
Mhm.
immediate, it's like, I need this now. So being able
Yeah,
to have that information out there for somebody who needs it right then is a really big help. So now you guys are in a lot of places in Canada, right? Talk
yeah.
about some of the retailers that you work with in Canada.
Yeah, we're in all the major pharmacies and grocery chains in Canada,
Mhm.
like Shoppers Drug Mart, PharmaSafe, Pharma Choice, Loblaws, Metro. We've been in Shoppers Drug Mart exclusively with them as a Trainer's Choice brand for 15 years.
Mhm.
So we've had a lot of success there. Everyone loves our brand and our packaging, and we keep continuing to grow. And we're in all the independent pharmacies as well. And so now it's our next goal and next step to expand into the US.
Yep, and that's where we get into the ECRM part. But before we go
Mhm.
into that, you're also aligned or partner with a lot of different sports teams or groups. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that's some
Yeah.
credibility right there.
Yeah. So locally, we're involved with the professional OHL team
Hmm.
in Barrie, the soccer team, the Bay Cats, which is baseball, and rugby. And then as well, in the past, we've supported like the Hamilton Tiger Cats, which is CFL for football, and the Argos. And then we're also a proud sponsor of the NHL official alumni.
Hmm.
Um, so they can reach out to us and we ship them products immediately, and that's supporting them, which is great for those, active, and then you've been sore your whole career and now you're coming, retiring, you still need that extra support. So we're able to support them as well.
Yeah, people don't realize how banged up professional athletes get that once they're
Mhm.
out, and then that also once you stop moving at that level, all of everything catches up with you, all the aches and pains. There's something about
Mhm.
constantly moving your body. It's like the head of the karate school that I train at. He's 65, 64, 65 now, and I tell him, I joke around, I'm like, Jimmy, if you ever stop, you're going to fall apart, right? Because he's at that
Mhm.
age where he's been moving his whole life. If he just retired and stopped, all the bumps and bruises and aches and pains just
Yeah.
catch up with you whenever you go mobile. So I could see that, the older or former athletes are
Mhm.
really big proponents too. So why the US? You're just looking, I mean, you saturated Canada, so now
Yeah, we've done really well in Canada, and our brand's like grown so much, and
Mhm,
we think we have a really strong brand. And with our social media and education, the clinic background and the geocell material,
mhm.
with the US being so close, we thought what better way to grow than into the US and have them as a partner. And so then that's when we decided to attend ECRM.
Awesome. Well, how did you find out about us in the first place?
We'd been looking around
Hmm.
for some trade shows and looking at a few, and ECRM really jumped out because of those 20-minute meetings that are offered. And we thought with our first trade show, setting up a booth can sometimes be intimidating or kind of hard to get people who don't know you as a brand to come into your booth. So we thought, what better way to get one-on-one in front of a category manager than to go to ECRM?
I couldn't have said it better myself. That was, in fact, that's part of our pitch when we do that. It's like, you know what? You don't need to set up a booth. You don't need an elaborate booth. You don't need any marketing because we're bringing the buyers and the category managers
Mhm.
right to you. So you
Mhm.
said it perfectly. So, all right. So once you were there, so your engagement with ECRM starts actually before the session, right? Because you
Yeah.
end up meeting one of our client success managers, and then they walk you through. What
Mhm.
was that experience like?
Yeah, our client success manager was great because we had a lot of questions and unknowns coming into what to expect, how these meetings work. If we didn't get a meeting, she was great to, go back and say, "Hey, send me your deck. Let's give them some more information in case, it just was missed." And
Mhm.
then we were able to get all those meetings that we wanted, and she helped prep us, get, our room ready for making sure we had extra TVs and all of that and getting our room set up. So it was a really seamless process for sure.
That's great. And I think that's an important point that you bring up is the fact that we talk a lot about the curated meetings, and people don't realize how much work goes in before the
Mhm.
session to make that truly curated schedule. And what you did was a perfect example. Sometimes the buyers might need a little bit more information about the particular brand to make the decision whether they're going to do the meeting.
Mhm.
So you send them some more information on the slide deck, and then they're like, "Oh, okay." So like maybe they were really looking for sustainable products and they didn't think that you had sustainable products, but
Mhm.
once they see your deck, they're like, oh, they do click all these buttons. I will meet. And then what you end up with is a list of appointments with buyers that are really interested in your product.
Exactly. And two, when you get there, you feel that where, everyone comes in with a great attitude
Mhm.
and they are really there. You're just one-on-one for 20 minutes it's so much more conversational than you're trying to
Mhm.
pitch someone, which is great. And you're able to walk them through the deck, have your products there in just that one-on-one atmosphere.
Well, take us through. So you did the 20-minute meetings, which we
Mhm.
call the planning sessions. So you had your own room, your own setup. Now, so I know you've had a success from this session, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but
Mhm.
take us through how you do your meetings because obviously you landed business from it. You did something right, but walk us through, how did you prep your pitch? How much slides, how many, how long did you pitch, how much Q&A? How did you break it all down?
Mhm. So we first, when we get our list of retailers before, we definitely went through all of them to see, okay, have we been to these stores yet? Do we know what their assortment is on products that they already have? And then from there, we um, curated our pitch specifically to each retailer, making notes ahead of time of knowing, okay, when this person comes in, we know this is the pain point that they could be
Mhm,
facing already that we want to make sure we address, or, compare why Trainer's Choice is better than the current set that they already have and how we differentiate as a brand for those retailers. So we were able to do that. Our deck was pretty big, but we just made sure we had all the slides so that you're
mhm,
not wasting any time because 20 minutes
yeah,
is a lot, but it does go by really
mhm,
fast. So making sure that we could just quickly go jump to certain slides that we needed to um, in that meeting. And some meetings started out just with questions. Some had already kind of heard about us. So we just went right into the questions with them and them asking questions to us, where others, if Trainer's Choice was newer to them, then we'd go through the whole background, the story, how we got to where we are, our current success in Canada and all the major players that we're in. And we had our samples there and even products that they might have seen before of competitors, obviously cutting out the label of the competitor to show, Trainer's Choice is a stronger, higher quality product. And this is what we're able to offer
mhm.
you with our category expertise and product expertise.
Gotcha. So now you have a lot of products. Obviously, you can't take them through all the products. How did you kind of whittle down or decide? Was it based on the conversation, or did you let the buyer guide you on which products to pitch or to demonstrate?
Yeah, it was based on the conversation, just, hearing what they had to say, but also knowing their gaps like ahead of time. If we knew their set, then it'd be like, okay, we know they're missing this knee
Mhm,
brace with stabilizers. And this is a huge seller. This is one of our top sellers. So then having that already ready to show, okay, this is the product that, you're definitely missing, or the thumb or our back based on just the set that they had. And that
mhm.
helped the process go a lot more smoothly. And then also then they can come back with, oh, well, do you have this product or what about this one? And then we're able to address those.
Gotcha. So when you mentioned, right, you're in Canada and these retailers in the US, you probably were not able to visit all of their stores or seen,
Mhm.
over the course of the past few years. How did you do your research if you weren't able to get to those stores? What else did you do? Their websites or?
Yeah, their websites, and then we travel a lot to the US, so we know a fair amount of people
Mhm,
scattered, and we'd call them up and say, "Hey, can you do us a favor? Can you run to the store for me and take a picture of the set?" And they were all really great to do that. So we were able to get some of those pictures that
mhm,
we might not have been able to get just and sometimes through their website too, they didn't have it. So having access to someone who could run into a
mhm.
store definitely was beneficial for sure.
I love it. I think that's a brilliant idea, and it's something that I think more people should do because it's hard to have boots on the ground everywhere, but
Mhm.
it's a good way. It's like, hey, just go in there, snap a picture of this set, and send it to me. Everybody's got phones, so it's not a problem. It's
Exactly.
one phone call, and then you're good to go. So, what
Mhm.
about buyer feedback? Did you get some feedback from the meetings that you might incorporate into either packaging or the way you do your business?
Yeah, they loved our packaging because it definitely stands out with the look. It looks
Mhm,
sleek, it looks premium, it catches your attention. And with our QR codes and everything on the back, they love that. Um, and they did really love our products. Being able to touch the product of like sitting there with them rather than, pitching someone online is a lot harder than pitching them in person. So having them be able to touch the product and
mhm.
see it firsthand definitely helped, and they loved that, and they loved the story, and trying to incorporate some feedback was, try and incorporate that story more onto the packaging about, how it originated. We have, that it's clinic based and developed by medical professionals, but, adding sometimes that story of the owner really resonates with people.
Hmm.
So that was feedback, but it was all really strong feedback with, the actual packaging, the brand messaging, and all of our content as well with the pictures we had that it shows like active recovery, family, outdoors, the green to show the sustainability aspect of it. Yeah, it was really great to get that feedback.
Did any buyers that were there happen to have a sports injury that they could have like tried?
Yes, they did actually. And we had someone, she was like, I actually just hurt my knee and I tried this one product. And then she's like, can I try this on? We're like, yeah, sure. And then she ended up taking, she's like, can I have this? We're like, yes, of course. And take
Oh.
it with you. So it was perfect. I was like, okay, we hopefully that reels her in so that we can set up another meeting after too.
Yeah, I figured if you're meeting with a few dozen people, one of them probably
So,
has an
yeah,
injury of
yeah,
some sort.
exactly.
So yeah, so that just makes sense. Now, take us through your follow-up process, and then we'll get into your Ingles win. But the how do you approach your follow-ups post session once you're home and everything wraps up?
Yeah. We go over all the notes that we made during those meetings and after. And then, as well, in that ECRM portal, you can see what the retailers' feedback was about your brand too. They'll comment, if they want samples, if they want to set up another meeting, which
Hmm.
is really great too, because then you know right away, are they interested? Are they not interested?
Hmm.
So we took all of that, put it together, and then reached out with a follow-up, with the specifics that they were interested in
Hmm.
based off our notes or their notes. And then push to get another meeting, and then we set that up once we find availability. Yeah.
That's great. And it's a long process. I mean, it's a, a no right now. A no is usually not a permanent no. It's a no right
Mhm.
now. And that could be for a
Yeah.
lot of reasons. Maybe they
Mhm.
just built a new set with a whole bunch, with different
Exactly.
with
Mhm.
competitors, and they're not going to change it right away. You have to wait
Mhm.
till the next round. Could be a new buyer to the desk. Could be even if they say yes, it can
Mhm.
take anywhere from 6 months to 18 months
Yeah. Yeah.
before you're on the shelf anyway. So it's more of a process. But the Ingles Markets win was pretty quick. Walk us through that, how you're meeting with them, and then how that led to and then what happened from between the time you had the meeting at ECRM and the time you got on the shelf. Like what was involved all along the way in terms of how many meetings did you have, any adjustments you had to make, the follow-ups, everything that was involved.
Mhm. So after our first ECRM last year, we had followed up. We had a really great meeting with Ingalls. It definitely stood out in our mind and theirs, obviously. And so when we followed up via email, they wanted to set up a meeting again right away to go over with more people from their team. So we went through that process of having a few meetings. And they really wanted us to give our category expertise. So we looked at their gaps. We gave our suggestions on what we think would benefit their set the best. And then we went through all those meetings and then finalized everything. But it definitely took some time to get there just based off of, when do they redo their set and when can they get us in?
Mhm.
And so we ended up just getting into stores in the September that just passed last month. So it definitely took a year to get there, but that's what happens. But it makes sure that you get out, all the details you need to make sure it's a seamless launch. And so that's what happened, and it looks great on the shelves. They've said that they've got a lot of great feedback so far. They loved the packaging, and we're lined up for promotions starting now in October. And so far, so good.
Awesome. What kind of promotions are you going to be doing to support it?
Uh, just some marketing promotions of the brand itself, and then also some discounts just to catch their attention,
Mhm.
get us in some flyers, and then we're going to work with them, hopefully, to do some more marketing campaigns, if that's through the website or social media, or some more in-store promotion.
That's great. Well, congratulations on
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
And again, so from the meeting was last year in the summer. right?
Yeah.
And two,
The
I
first
was
one.
there at that one in
Mhm.
Tucson. So
Yeah.
yeah, so the meeting, so you met face to face with them, and I think it was August of
July.
um
Yeah.
July
Mhm.
of last year,
Yeah.
and now you're on the shelves in September of this year. So
Yeah.
just to give people an idea,
Yeah.
that's normal. That
Mhm.
because in between that you have all of those meetings and the back and
Mhm.
forths and answering the questions, and I like the fact that they actually tapped into your category expertise for because you
Mhm.
are the experts in that
Mhm.
that segment, so tapping into your knowledge of that. So so now and you're in the middle of some follow-ups with other retailers. You don't have to name them because you're not doing business with them yet, but what how are those follow-ups going?
Yeah, the follow-up. So we attended ECRM again this past summer, and it was great to even reconnect with those ones, that their category review wasn't the year before when we had
Hmm.
first initially met them. And it was great product, great brand, not right time. And so meeting them again the next year was great because then we were able to connect again face to face,
Hmm.
which has helped us now with our follow-ups now, where we just are connecting via email, sending them, our pricing, some more suggestions of, what they're missing in their category right now and how we can help. And then also how we help as our brand with, MOQs, 99% fill rate, how we're there to support them as a business and retailer. And so we've had a few follow-up meetings as well, but just been keeping following up and trying to get those meetings going and get the next step.
Yeah, it's a process. And then the good thing is that you were able to meet with them again face to face. And
Mhm.
again, I didn't see you there because I was in Dallas as well. But I will definitely
The
see
next
you the
one. Yeah.
next time. I will make a point of it. In fact, I'm going to send you my cell phone number afterwards. You let me know when you're there. But yeah, I was in Dallas this year. I was in Tucson last year. But again, there's so many. I'm pulled in so many different
Mhm.
directions. But I think you brought up a good point. It's that consistency over time, building the
Mhm.
relationships. They see your face once, they
Yeah.
see your face again. They know you're not going away. It's like
Mhm.
so it builds up what I tell new brands, and you're not a new brand, but what I would tell new brands that are coming with us for the first time, it's and it was actually a beauty brand who laid this out. So it's not me. I can't take credit for it, but she said it brilliantly. She's like, in the beginning, if you're meeting a buyer for the first time, they don't trust you. She
Mhm.
didn't mean that in a negative way, but it's like they don't know if you're still going to be there next year if you're a new brand. They don't know what your capabilities are. You need to prove to them. You need to show either by getting wins with other retailers or by they see you coming back and you have calls and stuff in between and then you meet again in person. And there was another brand that I interviewed on the food side, on the beverage side, just as an example. He met with one retailer I think 10 or almost a dozen times in person at our sessions over the course of a few years
Wow.
before he landed the deal. And then
Wow.
what he did, it was
Wow.
like 3,800 stores, but it
Yeah.
takes time
Takes
and
time.
they
I'm
want to
sure.
see the track record. So what
Mhm.
about the other stuff? I mean, the networking and functions and schmoozing at the session.
Yeah. Yeah, the dinners for the networking part was great because you get to just meet all the retailers and even other brands just to connect, hear their experience
Hmm.
and their point of view because we had talked to a few our first year and they definitely helped us like feel really great about that first night. We're like, this is our first time here. And they're like, oh, we've been here multiple years in a row. You're gonna love it. It's a great setup. So, and getting to hear their experience and saying like, make sure you mention this or make sure you do this, go
Hmm.
see this. And so that part is definitely great. And then also they have the guest speakers that
Hmm.
happens and going over some of those numbers for like the category from whoever you guys have there that year for the data. And so that's really great to sit in on as well.
That's great. And yeah, I think we had NIQ spoke at
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
And we do a lot they do a lot of speaking at our category specific sessions. And I think it's cool that having this is a great opportunity to network with other brands and brand owners as well. And like you said, you get a lot of good intel from them, not
Mhm.
just advice on how to get the most out of the sessions, but a lot of these brands may have met with these buyers again and again and again and again. And
Mhm.
I mean, you could do all the research that you want about the company, but it's harder to get intel on the buyer themselves. And what I'm talking about is what what kind of personality are they? Do they want numbers? Do they want a lot of slides? Do they just want
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
conversation? Are they a Canadian hockey fan? You
Yeah.
know, all these little things make a difference,
Mhm.
but the only way you find that out is by talking to people that are doing business with those buyers. It's like, what's
Yeah.
this person like? How should I best approach them? Those are questions you
Mhm.
could really only get when you're networking with somebody in person.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you took advantage of that, and it seems like you actually did all the right things at you really squeezed the maximum value out of it. The only thing you didn't do was meet me,
I
and
know. I
we're gonna
know.
fix that with the next one. I go to most of our sessions throughout the year, so I'm on the road like twice a
Yeah.
month. So yes, you will. You may have heard my voice somewhere in the building, but yeah, we'll fix that with the next one. So yeah. So to wrap up, what's well, two questions. One is just overall your ECRM experience. What
Mhm.
what what did you like most about it?
Definitely that one-on-one interaction of the 20-minute meetings with the retailers, really being able to have that face-to-face connection. And sometimes too, in that setting, it takes that like standoffish business like too formal and it makes it feel more personal.
Mhm.
And that was the really great part, I think, was our favorite, that it felt more personal and you're really connecting with someone in the category rather than just it feeling too transactional.
Hmm. That's a great point. Yeah, because at like a traditional expo, sometimes you just don't get enough time with them. You'll get a
Mhm.
distracted minute or so. You're trying to get their attention. You got them for like
Mhm.
1 minute, and then they're off. Here, it's like they're all yours for that time.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
so yeah, and that's my favorite part about it too. It's all about the people.
Mhm.
And what's next? What's next that you could talk about?
Just continuing expanding into the stores into the US and just growing our brand and really pushing the education and just trying to reach more customers just along the way of, it's about the product, but it's also about we're here for you.
Mhm.
Just come to our page, come to our website. We're here to educate you along the way and support you through your injury. So just really connecting with those channels.
Awesome. Well, listen, congratulations on your success already. I know you're going to have more from that, and I look forward to. We will definitely be meeting in person at the next one.
Yes, sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Same here. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.